For the most part, we have 2 ears. That ought to give us the understanding we need to listen twice as much as we talk. Unless it's in secret unto the Lord. And I think about looking at you today, and there are not many, if any, that I hadn't sat with you through sorrow, suffering, and pain. But in doing so, I want to notice in your daily life, how much time are you willing to give God? Would it hurt us to give a little more to God? One day, as them boys and girls went down and wrote down how much time they spent in school, how much time they put in studying, and how much time they played or in recreations that they spent. God's keeping a record, church. Oh, my soul, I don't want to see that record. But do you know, as long as there's life within you, breath in your body, you can change that situation. But only if you're willing to commit to the divine will of God. Now, I'm glad if you're here and you're lost, God's able to save you. But I believe we'd see more get saved if we saw Christians commit to God by going a little further in His will, not ours. Will you bow your head and close your eyes for just a moment? As Brother Kerrigan comes with some invitational hymn, I'll ask you to remain seated, but you're welcome to sing along because this is so important. But I'd rather you to respond to the invitation as the Word says, just as I am. As Brother Kerrigan sings, has God spoken to your heart? Has the Lord spoken to you in a way this morning that you realize that you're just not all that you're cracked up to be in the eyes of God? You may stand out in your husband's eyes. You may stand out in your wife's eyes. You may stand out in your children's eyes. But how do you stand out with God? Go ahead and sing, brother. Thy blood was shed for me, just for you. I wonder how many of you are willing to come to these altars, regardless of what people might think of you, and say, preacher, I'm coming not for you, but for God. Then I'm going a little further. I'm going to be a little more faithful. I'm going to be a little more